Okay, now that you've installed XAMPP, and even if you haven't installed your database yet, remember you can follow the directions that I sent out, and that should allow you to go into the PHP MyAdmin, follow the directions, and you should be able to get your database loaded. But until then, we can at least check out your XAMPP server and see, play around with some of the files to make sure that it's up and working. Okay, once you install, you have your XAMPP folder. Now, on there, you've got to go down and find your control and open it up. So once I double click it, it's going to open up Apache, MySQL, Tomcat. Now remember, when you're installing XAMPP, portable is for everything except C. If you're installing on C, then you can go with the regular XAMPP. Okay, now looking through here, once you start up XAMPP, another thing you have to know is that any file that you're going to be running through your browser has to be inside the htdocs. If the file isn't in htdocs, then it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to open up this my product discount index.html. Now I can test out without doing this because there's an index in XAMPP I could open up, but this is the one I gave you to download. Now notice I have the whole structure up here. So instead of typing, I can go up here and I can copy this, go to your browser, and paste it. Now, since everything up until htdocs, since that's what my local server's taking up, then everything up to and including htdocs, I type in my local server, or sorry, local host. It's been a long day. Okay, now it's going to fix the slashes for me, but that way the path, all I had to do was copy and paste. Now if it was anything other than index, then I would have to continue and type the file. Since I have everything up to that point, it's automatically going to open up the index. So now I know I've got everything up and running in my server because my page is up. If it wasn't working, I'd have code instead of the actual information. And I can go in here and type in just a little bit just to make sure that it's working. Okay. So now I have it up and running. That's how you work through XAMPP, is make sure that the file is in your htdocs. All right, let's look at some PHP code. Now, the one we just ran, there's nothing new about the main display. It's all HTML. Simple HTML with forms. When I run into my PHP, it's because when I click submit, my action is going to pull in display discount.php. You also have that file. So let's get here and look. Okay, we're going to start PHP. PHP has to signify the opening and the closing. Okay, since I have more HTML I'm going to display on this page after I format it, I have to make sure I close it to start my HTML, or else it won't recognize my HTML. All right, to get data from an HTML form, I can post or get. And what is the name that I have given that form element? And then to put it inside a PHP variable, $sign comes before the variable. So I can go after every single one of them. I'm not validating, I'm just using the post to get it. From here, the rest is like any other language. Do your calculations. If you need to apply any formatting, now notice here, I can actually save the format in a variable. Haven't been able to do that before in most languages. But to create it, I'm literally going to have it print a $sign. And in PHP, the decimal is the join or append. And I want to number format this variable to 2 decimal places. So I'm creating all my formats. Then I am taking my one variable and I'm telling it if it finds any HTML characters like a less than or a greater than, translate it over into non-HTML. So it'd take a less than and put it into the code to translate the symbol. So it would actually print the less than in the format. So I'm taking that and fixing my variable, my string, not my number. And I'm going to use all these. So now to display using HTML and a little bit of PHP in my HTML. So I go through, and anytime I want to reference the variable of PHP, I have to tell it, I'm going to use PHP, display it back to the screen, end it. All my HTML. Now I'm ready to go back to get another variable. PHP on, PHP off, echo the variable, and it will display out. So this one's not very difficult. You just have to remember that I'm sending PHP with HTML. I'm not doing HTML inside of PHP. We'll do that later. Well, good luck. See if you can work on some of the others. I'll do another video on a higher level before I assign the first PHP lab. Continue on.